In a peaceful valley, beside an ancient fig tree, lived a young crow named Veeraj. He was swift in the air, clever in finding food, and his dark feathers glistened under the sun. Yet inside he felt invisible. One spring morning, Veeraj saw them, a group of peacocks dancing in the meadow, their tails fanning out like living rainbows. Children laughed, women clapped, and even the wind seemed to pause in admiration. Veeraj watched from a distance, his chest tight. No one claps for a crow, he thought. If I looked like them, maybe I would matter. That night, under the pale moon, he found a fallen peacock feather. He held it close, as if it carried the power to change his fate. And in his heart, a dangerous thought took root. What if I could become one of them? At dawn, Veeraj began his mission. Everywhere the peacocks wandered, he followed, silently collecting their fallen feathers one by one. Soon he had enough to weave into his own wings and tail. For hours he worked beneath the fig tree, tucking each brilliant plume into place, until his reflection in the pond shimmered with colors he had never known. When he stepped into the meadow, the sunlight caught his new tail, and for the first time heads turned. The peacocks glanced his way, puzzled, then intrigued. Veeraj's heart raced. He danced awkwardly at first, mimicking their every move, but with each step, he grew bolder. Children began to clap. A few even called out, "Look, another peacock." The warmth of their attention wrapped around him like sunlight. But deep inside, a quiet question whispered, would they still cheer if they knew who I really was? For days, Veeraj lived his dream. Every morning, he joined the peacocks in their dances. Every evening, he soaked in the praise of onlookers. He began to believe it himself. I am one of them now. But one windy afternoon, as he spun in the meadow, a strong gust tore through the fig branches. Feathers loosened. One, then three, then an entire strip from his tail floated away like autumn leaves. The crowd gasped. Children stopped clapping. The peacocks froze, their sharp eyes locked on him, not with admiration but with something colder. In that heavy silence, one peacock stepped forward, plucked a fallen feather from the ground, and dropped it at his feet. No words, but Veeraj understood. The applause was gone, the colors were gone. All that remained was a plain black crow, standing in a circle of truth, with nowhere to hide. Veeraj didn't run. He stood there, feeling the weight of 100 silent eyes. For the first time, he saw the peacocks not for their beauty, but for their truth. They were not trying to be anything else, and that's why they were admired. He looked at his bare wings, dull and honest, and something inside him shifted. That night, under the fig tree, Veeraj plucked away the last borrowed feather. The wind was cold, but his chest felt strangely warm, lighter than it had in weeks. From then on, he sang his own song, not as bright as the peacock's dance, but real. And in time, other crows began to gather around, not for his colors, but for his courage to be himself. Because the moment you stop chasing someone else's shadow, you finally step into your own light. Each of us is born with our own colors, our own voice. If you spend your life trying to be someone else, you'll always remain half of yourself. So live with your own sound, not to the echo of another. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Comment your thoughts below. I read every one. And subscribe for more stories that change the way you see the world.